obviously you're next to Donovan on that line. What do you see from him? What do you like being next to him on that offensive line? And what does that do for you?
I would say like Donovan, since he's been here, he's a fast learner and he's tough and he's fast and honestly, like I tell him all the time, like in the good and in the bad, like he's the type where he makes one mistake and then he never makes it again. So I tell him all the time, like I'm so glad you're over here because I can play. And I'm not thinking about anything else except my job because I know that he's going to be there, whether it's a runner, pass player, anything. So
you were in a similar position. I mean, obviously you were playing out of position, but the second year guy in the program as a starter. I guess what does it take for that to? How do you solidify a job like that your second year?
For me or for Donnie?
Just in general, like as a second year offensive lineman, what does it kind of take to solidify a job?
Oh, I would say like the biggest thing, I guess for me, like my mindset going into my sophomore year was okay. Like everybody knows that I'm aggressive. Everybody knows how to put people on the ground, and as a freshman, that's cool. Like you're putting people on the ground, you're driving people. Like they love to see that out of young linemen. But when you go into your sophomore year and you're looking to start, that's cool. We've seen that for a whole cycle. But now it's time for us to see technique and steps and progression and refining your tools and not just relying on your athleticism to take over. You know, because in those matchup situations, it's going to be the little things, the technique that's going to win it. So I would say for like all young linemen going into your second year, it's going to be the technique.
Was there any? I know you've been playing tackle your whole life, but after playing guard last year, was there any readjustment having to be back on that island?
I would say there was a period of readjustment, but I would say like I feel like that's the fun part because I'm continuing to. I took the tools I learned from tackle my freshman year, I took them to guard, and the fun things from guard, I'm taking them to tackle. So I would say it's just all encompassing development. So,
Paris, throughout your entire career, how much time have you spent at tackle? Like last year's the only time you probably played a guard, right?
Yes. I've never played guard until I got here. I would say, yeah.
So, I guess I'm thinking that you're not going to a new position. You're just going back to doing what you've always done.
Right. I would say the biggest switch was not the physical. I would say it was mental because in order for me to be a great guard, I had to think like a great guard. I couldn't think like I'm a tackle, but I'm playing guard. You know what I mean? Because of X, Y, Z, you're not going to be able to compete. Versus I had to think, you know, I'm a guard now. You know. So now I guess I'm taking my mindset back until where I'm at right now.
So how does that compare? I know that you've only been out here for 7 practices this spring. How difficult was it to change all that last year? And how does it compare to what you might be feeling now that you're back in town?
I would say that that's a good question. Repeat that again?
Just, if last year was difficult to try and change your mentality and you were doing it for the short term, how much more were you thinking how challenging was last year compared to maybe just how you feel through 7 practices doing something you've done your whole life?
I would say like I don't think about the guard mindset anymore. The same way like last season, the only way for me to really focus in was to forget about the tackle mindset completely. I never kept the tackle mindset in the back of my mind. I was always, I'm a guard. And then even, when the Rose Bowl came around, everything, I'm like, I'm a guard. Not, the tackle is right around the corner because that's when we start to slip up. I had to fully be a part of that identity. So I would say the mental shift, I was still in that guard mindset until I was told, Paris, you're moving back to tackle. And I was like, all right, cool. Switch gears, tackle. So.
What kind of conversations did you have with Thayer about going back and forth and what you get out of doing these things?
I would say me and Thayer have had some great conversations with each other about it because we were roommates in the hotels for all the games, so we had a lot of fun conversations. But we'd always talk about how we think that not only is this a great opportunity for us to put tape being a dual player at both positions and across the offensive line, which is great for your team, but also for the next level. But also, with Penny being a fifth year, like we both agreed, like it helped us learn the offense a lot better, but also learn what your guard can give you and learn what you can't. Because when I was in high school, I pictured the guard can do anything and I need him to do on that play. And I went down to guard and I tell DeJuan, sometimes I can't do that on that play. So now that I come back out to tackle, my communication with Donnie is so much better because now I know, like on my end, because I know what I can expect, can or can't expect, and I know how his technique is going to be on that play. So we're able to move that.
Do you feel you can play tackle better than you played guard last year? Does it feel just?
I think that this season would be the season I wanted to be at tackle, going back out there, just being in space.
Other than the obvious positional change, what's unique about this spring?
What is it? I would say, I guess the most unique thing is, I guess the way that I'm trying to take my mindset and is like, yes, this is my third season, but I mentally have to be able to accept the mistakes that I make along the way and have my mindset, okay, this is year one of left tackle. My first year was year one of right tackle, and then in the postseason I moved over to guard. All last season, my first season of guard, and now it's my first season of left tackle. So I'm allowing myself to refresh my mind. It's year one, I'm learning and trying to, paint the picture. My mindset's being, I'm trying to paint the picture with little strokes. I'm not trying to rush the whole picture. So I guess that's my mindset on that.
What sort of conversations or advice did he give you when you were making the transition from tackle to guard last year? And then I imagine that you still talk with him frequently about this. So what sort of advice and conversations did you guys have last year and then this year when you're making the transition back?
I think, he sort of, his advice was basically similar to the mindset that I was already having. And he sort of helped solidify that as just being in the moment of right now I am a guard. I can't, some people have been like, Paris, you play guard, but you really tackle playing guard versus, I'm a guard playing guard right now. I'm an offensive lineman, versus like now he's helped me switch my mindset in terms of, here are the things I tackle. And now we're starting to go back to I'm starting to talk to him more about the techniques that I can do at tackle, and I'm telling about the different situations I'm in. Because, he knows everything, the coach, whether you're a center, guard, or tackle. But I feel like our conversations, especially when I'm at tackle, I'm able to say something who's been in that exact situation at tackle in space, and he's able to relate to it, and then we can get on talk about it.
I know, obviously, the goal is the NFL, so was he telling you, hey, this is going to be a good thing in the long run of the fact that you're going to be able to play on the inside and the outside now?
Yes.
I mean, what was that? What did he kind of tell you about that situation?
Yes. He definitely said that in the long run it just shows flexibility and athleticism, because I know in the NFL you want to travel just 7 or 8 offensive linemen. So until you become that franchise tackle, if anything happens, you're going on the guard, you're going down a right tackle. So me having experience in multiple positions besides center, and I feel like that's going to help in the long run, especially in just understanding the offense now, like the combo blocks work together, how much help you're going to get.
Coach, you said you're excited to get back to left tackle. As you looked at this spring, what did you think this is the most important thing I have to accomplish this spring to be the best left tackle I can be this fall?
I would say I have a really, really, really long list of things that I want to accomplish in order to be the best left tackle that I can be. But I feel like the biggest thing the thing that's at the top is just for me to allow myself to take my time and to take advantage of all these practice days and to take advantage of all these reps. Because if I try to rush the process, become the best left tackle in the nation. Miss practice, I'm gonna rush the picture, and these days he's gonna get away from me. So each day I have things I write down, and those are the things that are my focus. And then next, in practice, and check that off my list. And then after I accomplish that, work on the consistency of that.
But that's the goal. It's not just that you want to be a good left tackle this fall. You want to be the best
Right,
left
like, I
tackle.
want to be the best one. I want to be the best.
Just
That's
to
my
make sure
goal.
those are your words, not ours.
Yeah, that's a goal, but like, that's what everybody wants, that's what everybody says, but I want to go out and do that, and I want to show it to my teammates, I want to show it to the coaches. But, the best left tackle is also most consistent.
How much does it help that you started last year? It wasn't at left tackle, but you've experienced games. This could be your first year starting if you hadn't made the move. How much does that experience help, even at a slightly different position?
I would say just understanding the speed of the game. And I would say it's definitely going to make it slow down. As the season went on, the game started to slow down. Because, even last year, I guess the biggest culture shock for me was, when we're running these stretch play, I'm like, wow, they're not just going to the sideline because they don't know the play. You know what I mean? So it kind of slowed it down because in practice, defense knows exactly what we're doing. So I would say, just understanding how that goes, feeling out the long drives, I would say all that helps.
Yeah.
But once something is I'm not hitting that exactly how I want to, then I bounce it off of them and then take care of it.
Where did that concept come from of having a list every day of check marks you wanted to hit? Where did that come from?
When I was in high school.
High school? And who fostered it with you? I mean, you just
me and my mom.
You and your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna write a book about it one day? No, I'm just messing.
I don't know, maybe.
What has Coach Fry brought more than anything else to this group that's different from Coach Stud? It's not slamming anybody. I'm just asking you what he has brought that you like so far.
I would say just the way that he's just been helping the young guys get along, and the way that he's been trying to even there's little things in our room usually in position room there's always the old guys in the front and the young guys in the back, versus now the old guys are in the back and the young guys in the front, closer to the screen. That accountability is higher now because from where the coach sits, those are the first people we've seen.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like little things like that are cool.
And you personally, do you feel more? Are you in your spot now? Or, I mean, from a comfort level, do you feel like you're a left tackle? I mean, what is the sense in your, in your heart?
I feel
and your
that's
brain?
a hard answer because I'm wherever I'm most comfortable. I'm going to eventually get most comfortable wherever the program needs me to be. That's what it's about. It's about winning as Buckeyes. But I would say personally, yes, I'm very comfortable at left tackle. But at the same time, last year, it might have taken some time, but last year I got comfortable at right guard, So I would say it doesn't really matter. I'm going to eventually be comfortable whether it's anywhere, but I do feel definitely comfortable at left tackle.
Hey, Paris, I'm curious, did you see that mentality at all from Matthew Jones? In terms of, doing whatever on the inside to, best of, whatever's best for the team? Because, he showed a lot of versatility, whether it's playing at the guard spot or being the backup center. Did you see that level, I don't know, the same attributes or whatever?
Yes, I feel that is a statement of our room. I feel we have guys that are willing to move around to, one, the benefit of the team, and two, see the field, because at the end of the day, yes, I came in with the mindset from high school. I'm going to come in Ohio State, I'm going to take over that tackle spot, and just, that's not how it went. But eventually, it's going to shift to, I'll play center if I got to. You know what I mean? I might not have the leverage because of my height, but that's what I'll do, and I feel that's what our offensive line room is about, is playing where the team needs you to be, getting comfortable there, and then understanding that even if you're coming off from the sideline, you're still an asset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What have you seen out of Matthew Jones? What leadership has he brought? What kind of personality has he brought to the room? What is he?
I would say one thing from this spring that I've noticed from Matt, that's definitely been a big change, is that he's been a lot more. He's always been a leader through example. Like he's been that consistent. I would say his vocal leadership has started to really stand, because Matt's a guy where he doesn't really, he's gonna do the right thing, but he might not talk. He might not talk. He's cool like that. But I think his vocal leadership as a singer, I think he's in his 5th season now. So now being able to take that role as a more vocal leader, he's been starting to do that too.
Harris, with your line, I don't think anybody would have had a problem with any one of the guys who started last year. 5 starters, everyone highly ranked, big-time player, right? But do you think in your mind that there's a chance this year's line is better because you have 2 true guards? I don't want to say better, right? I mean, more efficient, more productive, I guess.
I think that last year we had the best offensive line, but I also think that this year we have the best offensive line. But I think that's because my mindset is the now. In each season you want to improve. I hope that next year this line is even better. You know what I mean? But I think right now, from the gentleman that asked before, about the comfortableness, I would say I think that as far as talent goes and experience goes, both lines have that. But I think in terms of the comfortableness factor, in terms of the rate of getting to that, might be a lot quicker than last year.
And even where Nick had started before and Thayer had started before, everyone being where they were, it was basically 5 first-time starters.
Right.
Nick had to move, Thayer moved inside, you moved inside,
Right.
Luke had to start. I mean, there's a lot of things. How have you guys been able to just gel in this, what we believe now is the starting 5 that we've seen for the first 3 weeks of spring?
Can you repeat that? I kind of lost my track.
How much different cohesion is there, knowing that these are our guys, this is going to be the starting 5, barring something crazy?
Yeah, I think just knowing that, and guys are still competing for spots, but I think just knowing that, the 5 that we have now, just having that group consistently up, I think there is a cohesion, because I guess there's no process of thinking is he going to switch here? Is he going to switch here? We kind of know where we're at. We're really early,
How hard has it been with your mom moving to Atlanta?
It hasn't been that hard, because she still finds a way to be in Columbus. So still finds a way to be in Columbus. So it's been cool. So we've still been able to just spend a lot of time together.
That flight is just as long as the drive was to Cincinnati, right? So
Yep, it is. It's not a bad drive, and it's a cheaper flight than from Buffalo to,
Harris, now that you're back at left tackle and stuff, with the wealth of wide receivers, it's a very pass-heavy offense. They're the ones getting the dispense of the wealth, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
How important is it playing left tackle, knowing that you have a tight end that can block to give you that outside help? How important is that just in the functionality of an offense?
Oh, well, that's amazing to have, just having the tight ends. We have having Cade, having G and Joe, and these guys, Bennett, just being able to come off the edge, and these guys are hitting fearlessly, especially Cade and G. It doesn't matter if it's a defensive end, doesn't matter, they were rocking off the ball. Stuff like that, and then offense, we're going to pass a lot. It makes pass protection that much easier.
And when I talked to Cade, he was saying his mindset is to be able to put the guy on his back. How would you describe his blocking ability and just his mindset?
I would say his mindset it definitely correlates to what you see on the field.
Ryan, Kevin Wilson both said that you needed to work probably the most on just one-on-ones out on an island and stuff. How much do you take pride in being able to be in a one-on-one situation at left tackle and not really needing a tight end? You guys have a lot of tight ends, but they're not super experienced tight ends. How much do you take pride, and how much do you what kind of level do you want to get to where you're not going to need a tight end no matter who?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not it doesn't feel the same when you have a tight end with you. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, at least to me internally, the intrinsic value of a successful pass play with a tight end chip or something, it just doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? So I honestly like the plays where there's no tight end that's chipping, because that's more work for me. if that's the scheme that we have in a game on Saturday, okay, that's cool. But with me being able to go from being in that box, that was at guard, to being back at space, I value the reps that I get just one-on-one in space.
How confident do you feel right now on March 31st about your ability to be one-on-one, tackle versus defensive end, any defensive end that you might go?
I feel amazing about it. So.
Do you feel like you still can get better there?
Oh, of course. Oh,
do
yeah.
Do you feel like no
that's
matter
the
what,
exciting part. Like the exciting part is that I'm starting to understand it, and I'm starting to show that what exactly the coaches are wanting to see out of me in space. I'm starting to do that, and that's exciting because I know I'm nowhere close. I still have however many more practices. I still have time on my own to work on it. We still have the fall camp and everything. So I'm excited because I'm starting to show it. I'm starting to win my reps cleanly, and still have things like, dang, I could have did this, and I that's the best feeling for me is when you win a rep outright and you didn't even do it exactly how you wanted to. You know what I mean? The problem starts when you think you have everything figured out and you don't. So as long as I'm finding things are correct, I'm having fun with it. You know?
there's a saying that you can go ahead.
I'm sorry. The year that you spent at guard, did it make you a better run blocker now that you're moving out?
Yes,
and
it did.
What ways are you seeing that right now?
It did. Just because everybody's lighter out on the ends. I'm going against a 6 foot, 300-something pound dude from Tulsa was like, 7,000 pounds in the middle. So when you go into defensive end,